Hi and welcome to this Garden Gnome software screencast. This screencast is going to show you how to make transitional projects, transitioning from say day to night or winter to summer. And yeah, so basically how do we do it? Right, well this is the effect that we're looking for. We've got a panorama. When I click this little button, we then transition to the evening shot. Okay, so you see all the lights on, and the idea is that we can zoom in and zoom out and do what we want, and when we click the button again, we then switch to the other sort of day mode, if you like, and we're still maintaining the pan tilt field of view. Okay, so how do we do this? Well, the first thing you need to do is shoot the panoramas, and it's important that the panoramas are shot from the same location and in shot from the same direction. So basically how this works is we're going to take the data from one panorama and apply it to the other, so they need to be looking in the same way to start with. If you've got one looking one way and one looking the other, when you make the transition it won't quite line up. Okay, so that said, how do we do it? Right, well let's start off with a Pano 2 VR Pro project. I'll open this up and you can see that in the tour browser, when it loads, I'm going to have my two nodes, day and night. I'll just undock this. And the thing here is that each node needs to know where its day-night counterpart is. Because this is Pro, what I've done already is gone into the project settings and turned on Show Node ID. So when that's done, when you hover over the node, you get Node ID Node 1 for Node 1, and when I hover over this one, it says it's Node 2. So I need to know that information. So click on Node 1, and where I'm going to put the information of where its night counterpart in is I'm going to use the source text under user data. So its node is node 2, so curly brackets, and we just type in node 2. Okay, and if I click on night mode, its day location is curly brackets node 1. Okay, so that's done. So now each knows where its counterpart is. So let's go into the skin editor. I've got a blank skin here. If I just choose a rectangle tool and make a quick button, so 32 by 32 pixels, I'm going to anchor it bottom right hand side. I'm going to give it a mouse or hand cursor when we hover over it, and we'll change the radius to all the 9s to make it a circle. Okay, so that's my button set up, my rectangle set up to be a button. So let's now add the action. So the action is going to be mouse click, open next panorama, and I'm going to use the placeholder $user data source, so $US. Now there is a list of placeholders on our website under documentation, and we have system placeholders and skin placeholders. You'll find this under the skin placeholder. Now we're going to use one more placeholder, and it's under pan tilt field of view, and that is going to be $CUR or $current, and this is what takes the current pan tilt field of view from one pano and apply it to the other. Okay, so that done, all we have to do now is publish out the project, open it up, and here we see we've got the day shot. When we click the button night shot, we can zoom in, and yeah, and it works as we want it to. There you go. Right, okay, so that's Pano 2 VR Pro. So how do we do this in a non-pro project? Well, let's just open up the project. Here, of course, with non-pro you have a project file per input image. And of course we don't have nodes, what we have is output files. So here we've got day underscore out XML, night underscore out XML. Okay, so let's just open up one of the project files, and you can see that this is the day one. Let's just get rid of the tour browser because this is obviously simulating a non-pro build. So this is the day one, so it's now night counterpart. Again, will be under user data and under source, but you can see I've used the file name instead of the node because this, as I say, is non-pro. Now this is just an HTML5 output, so I'm using the XML file. Had this have been HTML5 with Flash fallback, I would have used the Swift file here. Swift works with both HTML5 and Flash. XML only works with HTML5, so that's why you would use the Swift file there. Okay, so again, same thing. If I just quickly publish this out and open it up, again, non-pro project, and it will work just the same way. Difference being is that you need a project file per node, and it's a little bit more fiddly setting the user data. But other than that, the skin is going to be identical because it's still using the same buttons, it's still using the same placeholders, in the user data for the source, and we're still using the same placeholder for finding current pan tilt field of view. So nothing changes with the skin, it's just how we apply this in the non-pro. Okay, right, so what happens if we've got a multiple node tour? Well, no difference. If we just open up a pro project, just because it's quicker to show, you'll see that in the tour browser we've got 3 day nodes and we've got 3 night nodes. And all you do is you sort of treat these as 2 individual tours. So you link via hotspots all the 3 nodes for day, and then you separately link the night modes together. The trick here is if we look at the hotspot editor for node 1, you'll see under the skin hotspot list, under the hotspot list, I've got pan and tilt for locating the hotspot, because you want the hotspot to be in the same position in the day scene as well as the night scene. So that's what I would do, is I'd take that data, I would open up the night scene and apply that in there. So let's just go to the day one, and there we go, it would be the same data here in night and day. So that's setting up my hotspots. Again, this time round, because we've got more nodes, day 1, its night counterpart is going to be now node 4. So with node 1 selected, go into the user data, you'll see node 4. For the second node, it'll be node 5, and third node, node 6. There you go. And again, had this have been non-pro, it would have been the file names for those particular nodes. Okay, so that's that. And if we open it up, we'll be able to see the output. So there's node 1, 2, and 3. And we can change at any point for the night scene for 3 or 2. Again, we can swap back and swap over, and it all interlinks and functions as we want. Okay, so that's all well and good, but what happens if, say, for argument's sake, night 3 doesn't have a night, or day 3 doesn't have a night counterpart? Well, this is no problem. What we can do is we can tag that particular node. So we go to user data, and I'm just going to call the tag no, because no scene or no night scene. And that's all we need to do as far as that node is concerned. But what we need to do now is go into the skin, and I'm going to add a node marker, and under tour node tag, I'm going to use that tag no. So that's that. And then all we need to do is give the node marker some actions. So when that node is active, I want to hide the rectangle, which is my button. And when we come away from that node, in other words, the node marker is deactive, we are going to show the button again. Okay, so if we just close and publish that out, what we should get now is when we open it up, there's node 1 with my button showing because we can switch. There's node 2, still got the button showing, and node 3, button now disappears. There you go. So that's how you can make a multiple node tour with transitions between night and day, summer or winter. There you go. That's how to do all that, and thanks for watching.